Good morning and welcome to my YouTube channel. So this morning I'm trying to find what they call the Forgotten Falls of Turret. It was supposed to be a beauty spot over 150 years ago and has been kind of derelict and left and forgotten about all these years. I can hear waterfalls, so what I'll do is I'll keep walking towards the falls to see if I can get a glimpse, because there's supposed to be quite an enchanted little walk all the way down. In fact, I can see the falls, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn you around so you can see. Okay, so what we'll do now is we'll head down this path. We'll walk down into the gorge and let's see what we can find this morning. Just thought I'd stop here as we're right above the falls. They're absolutely stunning, although I'm kind of struggling to figure out how I get down. What I'll do is I'll lift you up so you can see what I can see. So I can already see some pretty amazing compositions and images to take of the trees at this height. I'm just going to show you this wee path. So I'll just go to the edge of that path and just see if it's safe to walk further down. If not, I'll need to try and find another route down towards the falls. Oh wow, well, I've climbed down to the bottom of the gorge. That is not for the faint-hearted. Not quite sure how I'm going to get back out, but I'll need to figure it out and find an alternative route. But as you can see, there's this ancient enchanted bridge that I'm standing on. The waterfalls that you saw earlier are over to my far right. This is actually the River Turret that's flowing underneath this enchanted bridge. And the River Turret flows all the way down past the Turret Distillery into the River Erne down at Crieff. So what I'll do is I'm going to look around for some nice image opportunities. I'll set up the right compositions and I'll walk you through as I'm taking each of the compositions and see if we can get some nice photos. Okay, so this is the scene I'm going to shoot. So my nephew asked me if I could try and walk you through the process that I follow from a focusing point of view. So what I've done is, because you can see down there the glare on the water under the bridge, I've set up a polarizer on my camera. So if I select live view, if I turn the polarizer, you'll start to see how bright it gets. So if I adjust the polarizer to here, what you'll see is on the top right it's a bit bright in the background in the forest, but the water underneath the bridge is actually quite transparent because we've got the polarizer set up. So I've set it at 2-second exposure, which is there. I've set it at f8 because I want as much detail as I possibly can, and I've set it to ISO 100 again because I want as much detail as I possibly can. So I've set a 2-second timer. I'll go back onto live view, and if I select the shutter, then there we have our image. So hopefully that 2 seconds that I've set will also slow the water down. So it won't be completely milky, but we should get a smoothish effect of the falls. So round about here there's loads and loads of different image opportunities. So what I'll just swing round so you can see from where I'm standing. If I climb down there to the river's edge, I can look for compositions around that enchanted bridge. But what I'll do is I'll show you where I've climbed down. I hope my wife's not watching this. So if I zoom in slowly, what you'll see is if I lift the camera up, that is what I climbed down to get in here. So like I said, I might have to find an alternative way out, because there's not much around me that looks like any kind of alternative to get out of here at the moment. Okay, so before I wandered down to the river's edge, I thought I'd come over to the bridge and look for different photographic opportunities from the bridge, because there's some really nice trees flowing out of the side of that really thin path that I walked along. I've got a river on the left hand side, the bridge on the right hand side. So I'm just going to take a shot, see how that looks. Okay, so I've managed to climb down a wee bit closer to the river. I've got the bridge in front of me. I was just doing a bracket shot there because I'm still getting a wee bit of glare from the sun. So I've set this shot up, I've focused on the centre of the bridge where the bracken is. I've adjusted the polarizer so that I'm not getting too much glare off the water at the bottom. What I might do is tilt that down actually and just focus in a wee bit more. Right, that's nicer actually. So what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to work out the composition where I've got some water coming in from the left hand side that's flowing under the bridge. I'll need to refocus. I'm getting a little bit of lens flare on the front of my polarizer. So before I take the shot, I might have to try and get rid of that lens flare. Not still there. Let me see where I need to be. Wow. There. Right, so if I take this shot now, put my hand there to get rid of the lens flare. Okay, so I've now managed to get underneath the bridge, and I'm going to take a shot of this stream that's flowing down underneath the tree, the fallen tree. So I'm taking a shot where I didn't want the water to be too milky. So when I had it at a second earlier, because this is a lot darker scene, I've had to increase my ISO to let more light in. So I'm still at f8. I've upped my shutter speed to 1/3 of a second, and I'm now shooting at ISO 400. So I'll just take this shot. What I might do is I might just do a zoom in and get a close-up shot, because this is a really nice composition where the water's flowing down. It's just a shame that those fallen trees are there, but that's nature. And again, like I said earlier, what I'll do is I'll keep sharing the images with you after each of the sequences, and then that way you can get to see what I'm taking images of, because this is quite, although this is a beautiful environment, it's magical, to be honest. It's not safe, and it's not the easiest place for me to use the small camera to film me to show you exactly what I'm doing. It's a bit precarious at places. So I'm now underneath the bridge. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to lift the camera up so you can see the view that's in front of me and how beautiful this is this morning. It is absolutely glorious. Okay, so I finally made it to the falls. It's absolutely stunning. There is a wee challenge though, and the challenge is the sun's coming down and the sun's really highlighting a lot of the water at the top of the falls. So what I've had to do is put a 1.2 ND grad filter on top of the polarizer so it can try and take as much glare away from the top of the waterfalls as possible. To be honest, I've never seen this falls before. It's absolutely stunning. There's quite a few image opportunities around the falls. The only problem is that tree is overhanging, so this is probably one of the clearest shots I'm going to get. Now I've put my wide angle lens on as well because earlier when I was taking shots of the bridge I was just too close and I couldn't get the image in the one frame because I only brought 2 lenses with me today. More from a weight point of view because I knew this might be quite a steep climb. So I've got the 24 to 70 lens and I've got the 16 to 35 wide angle lens. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to zoom in to the falls and see what kind of pictures we get, because I'm really conscious. I'm loving the glare being deflected. My real concern is the glare of the sun on the falls. So in fact, not probably, what I will have to do is I'll have to do 5 bracket exposures because there's no way in one shot, even with all the filters that I've got, that I'm going to take all the glare out of that water at the top of the falls. So I'm just... Okay, well, I've taken quite a few shots. This wee rickety chair doesn't feel that safe, but it's better than sitting on a soggy moss. I'm just going to grab a quick coffee and a breakfast bar because I need to think about how I'm going to handle that sun. The waterfall here is absolutely stunning. But it's obscured by a tree. So I've taken a few shots of the waterfall through the tree. So I've focused behind the tree. It's not going to be an award winner, but it's definitely a stunning waterfall. It's just a shame it's obscured. I'm going to venture down to the bottom right hand side there once I've had my coffee, because I'm just going to give myself 5-10 minutes just to think about how I'm going to do this, because I'm also really weary that there's a lot of wet moss in these rocks and I really don't want to slip because I am deep down in a gorge, so I just want to make sure I'm taking it easy. The waterfall's nice, the highlights are worrying me in the water because the sun is shining bright. I'm going to go back to the bridge once I've had my coffee as well, because there's still some really nice shots to be had of the bridge. Again, the sun had come up behind the bridge, which is good to know, and I think I would probably find a better time to come down to the gorge where the sun's probably better positioned, maybe midday, because it was about 7 in the morning when I got here, so it was really dark, and the sun hadn't come up this side of the mountain, but then probably nearer 8 o'clock that's when we started to see the sun rising, so that's fine. That's why we come and scout out a lot of these locations because we like to learn and see what we've got. Well, it was absolutely worth it, sitting having a wee coffee and just sitting and thinking and waiting. There's a wee cave behind that seat, so I sat in there as well, and I can imagine if it's pouring with rain you're pretty well protected in there, but heaven knows how you'd get back out here in the heavy rain. But what I've done is I've focused on that small waterfall, and I've got my polarizer on for the water at the bottom of the fall in the pool. I've focused to the top of the falls. I've really increased my shutter speed up to 1/8 of a second because I want to get the streaks coming through. What you can't see in the back of my camera, unfortunately, is the big waterfall at the back is streaking down, and it's absolutely stunning. So what I'm doing is I'm taking a wider view of the ponds, or the pool, sorry. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to zoom in to the waterfall. Well, and then what I'll try and do, there's a nice bit of light just hitting the top of that rock, actually. It's really nice. So I'll try and capture that. There we go. Take the shot. What I might do is bracket, or the colour of that water, the rocks with the light, and the combination of that and the darker rocks is absolutely stunning. So I'm going to do a quick bracket shot, just in case I need it, in case there's any highlights blown out in the water, and then I can bring them back. Right, so I'm going to lift the camera up and I'm going to stand higher just to see if there's... Now, as you can imagine, the higher I go, the worse it is for me when it comes to this tree. So, what I'll do, I'll just get the tripod stable, because there is a wee shot there and it's an absolute belter. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to take a wee wander back towards the bridge, because the light has toned down and I want a shot of that tree that's sticking out the side, but I want the tree to come out the path. But I'm going to show you when I'm finished. Oh, I need to finish soon, in the next 25 minutes. When I'm finished, I've got to climb up there. So let me just show you what I've got to try and climb back up. So that there, I've got to work my way all the way up there. I'm just following my finger here. And then at the top of those logs, that's where that single path was, and I have to walk all the way up there. So that's going to be fun. I won't film it because it'll be too tricky, but I'll see you at the other side. Right, I'm back at the bridge, so I'm going to take a wander down and see if I can get the shot I was looking for earlier. I'll just work my way down. I'm glad I had my wellies on because this is so mucky. There, right. If I just turn this round, I'm going to see if I can get a shot the bridge in all its glory before that sun comes back up again. So I've got it set up for a 13th of a second. That's really nice. It's f8 ISO 800, what I might do, if I increase the shutter speed to 1/4 of a second and reduce my ISO to 320, there's a real softness in the back behind the bridge, in the forest behind it. It's really nice. It's quite a mystical glow that I'm getting here. Okay, I've made it to the top of the hill. I'll just show you what I can see. So I'm now above the waterfall. I haven't got far to go now till I get up to the road. But the good thing is, I got up safe eventually. So thank you for joining me on this video. I hope you liked it. If you liked it, please give it a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed already, please subscribe. Remember, subscribing is free. And if you press the bell notification, that'll notify you when I release new videos in the future. So thanks again, and here's to the next video.